Hi, and welcome back to part 2 of the cost of living in Indonesia, where you can find out how much you might need per month for food, more specifically groceries and eating out.
We just want to let you know that when you are living in Indonesia, you don't have to be embarrassed if you eat out or order takeaway almost all of the time. This is totally normal, and the majority of expats and digital nomads do this. So don't worry, it's okay. Nobody cooks.
Yeah, because coming from Europe or the US, it is strange, but in Indonesia it is much cheaper not to cook. But that said, you will of course end up at the grocery store at one point. So how much would you need to budget for your weekly groceries when living in Indonesia?
Good question, good question. So generally speaking, local fruit and vegetables are cheap, of course. It's even cheaper at the local market if you're very good at negotiating. As a foreigner, you're going to pay more. That's just the truth. But that's part of life. As long as you know how much the fruit is in the supermarket and you're able to pay a bit less at the local market, you're doing pretty well. You'll see in no time your bargaining skills will improve tremendously.
As for visiting the supermarket, your supermarket visits can get pretty expensive compared to what the locals are paying. Why? Chances are you'll be buying imported foods and dairy products as well.
That's it.
And that, my friend, is expensive compared to regular Indonesian products.
Yeah. Imported products are not necessarily expensive compared to the prices in supermarkets in US or here in Europe. But you will consider them expensive once you live in Indonesia because all the other local products in the supermarket are so much cheaper.
So if you know that you'll be buying similar types of foods such as at home, expect to have the same grocery bill in Indonesia.
For instance, bread and a quarter of a gallon of milk in Indonesia is around $1.25. Kraft cheddar cheese or mozzarella cheese are somewhat the same price as at home.
Or for good quality chocolate, expect to pay something around $3.50 for 100 grams. But if you're happy with the famous English Canterbury chocolate, then this is about $1.35. Again, same as home.
Yeah, pretty cheap. Yeah. Somewhat big differences are for good quality yogurt, which you will be paying around $3 to $5 for Greek yogurt, for a liter or a quarter gallon.
Yeah, another product that is a huge difference, funny enough, is oatmeal. In Indonesia, they often only sell A brand oatmeal, such as the famous Quaker oatmeal brand. A kilo or 35 ounces will cost you around $3, whereas here in the Netherlands, from another brand, it would be only $1.70 for the same amount. Yeah. So that is almost half the price you will pay in Indonesia.
That's right. Other items that are considered expensive goods are, for instance, alcohol. Imported wine can be 5 times more expensive, while imported beer is twice. The famous local Bintang beer is almost the same price as beer at home. And for beef and non-local fish, such as salmon, expect to pay a bit more than at home. But that's obvious.
Products that are often used by Indonesians and therefore cheaper than at home are, for instance, rice, eggs, local fruit and vegetables, and chicken. We're not talking about the filet because that's expensive. No, we're talking about chicken sold as a whole, so with the bone.
If you have little kids that need diapers, then generally they are available, but twice the price. Especially the brands such as Pampers and Huggies are far more expensive. Diapers are a luxury product in Indonesia because Indonesian babies only use cotton cloth diapers. Yeah.
Also, it isn't possible to drink tap water. So buying water is also an expense you need to consider. Luckily, it isn't that expensive. 1.5 liter bottle is around 50 cents. They also have these huge 5 gallons that they can deliver to your house, so you can place them on a water dispenser. These are of course relatively cheaper. you will be paying around $6 for 5 gallons of water.
Yeah. We are not recommending moving to Indonesia and avoiding a high budget on groceries just so you're able to live there, you know? We just want to make sure you have calculated a good monthly income so it is enough for your personal needs. So, if you know you are going to eat more Western products, you will need to add this to your monthly expenses.
In our case, we are vegetarians, so we don't have to have a look at the meat section.
No.
The market is a great place to get most of our food. And we have a 7-year-old son, so we don't need diapers or other baby products. And we love to drink water, so we will need to stock up for the water gallons.
Yeah.
But that will hardly kill the budget, of course.
No, I don't think so.
We would, however, buy bread, oatmeal, nuts, peanut butter, chocolate paste, and honey and stuff like that. And those products tend to be more expensive.
Yeah. So what would we calculate for our food shopping budget? You know, the three of us? I would say 200, you know, to be on the safe side.
Yeah, 200 sounds good. Per month or per week? Per month.
Per day.
Per month.
So how about eating out?
Eating out, yeah, as Matt mentioned earlier, eating out in Indonesia is very cheap as long as you keep it local. As soon as you go for pizza, sushi, or steak, then you'll be paying much more.
Yeah. You can easily go to a warung, which is a local place that serves only a certain number of dishes. You know, you can eat there for, what is it, $2 for nasi goreng or soup. And these places are usually not located in the shopping malls, but are smaller restaurants along the street or the street food kind of style, you know. You can have also satay, martabak, famous noodle soups. The list goes on. Yeah.
And if you head to the mall, such as Jakarta, or go to a Western-looking restaurant or a restaurant that is aimed for tourists in Bali, for instance, then you will be paying an average of $15 a meal per person.
Yeah, per person, yeah. You would think that $15 for a meal is cheap. But if you do it too often, you will soon notice that you're spending more than $200 a month per person on lunches, dinners and takeaways. And not to forget that you order a delicious fruit juice or a coffee every now and then, you know, on top of it.
Yeah, a regular coffee at Starbucks, for instance, is already around $2.30. Of course, there are more coffee places to choose from, but their price is as high as well. So for the same price of coffee, you can buy a huge nasi rames at a local warung. Nasi rames is rice with all kinds of side dishes such as spicy tofu, vegetable in coconut sauce, salted papaya leaves, sweet fried tempeh, and more. It's delicious and is ideal for lunch and dinner.
Yeah. Being able to eat out and having meals for an average of $15 a day is of course okay, you know, as long as you have budgeted this into your cost of living in Indonesia, you know.
Yeah.
We just wanted to point out that just because Indonesia is a cheaper place to live doesn't mean that it will be very cheap if you aim to eat out or to do takeaways or go to restaurants, you know, that serve Western type of dishes, especially the Western type of dishes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine us eating out or getting takeaway a lot because we love Indonesian food. So we are likely going to have our 10 favorite local warungs where we would get meals such as gado-gado, curries, noodle soup, or as mentioned earlier, the nasi rames.
Yeah. So yes, we will hardly be cooking if we are going to live in Indonesia again for a second time. So I think $200 for the three of us, maybe a bit more, you know, for if we go to an Italian restaurant or something along the beach. $250?
Yeah,
per month.
$250 would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. So what would be the total of our expenses for food and eating out? That would be $450 for the three of us for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds a lot, but from past experience of living abroad, we prefer to budget more to be on the safe side.
So that's it about the cost of living in Indonesia. And this time, more specifically, the cost of food in Indonesia. If you have any ideas or comments about how much we have budgeted so far, please let us know in the comments section below. We are curious about your ideas as well.
Yeah, and if you want to know what other costs you will have when living in Indonesia, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you know when we'll post videos on the cost of healthcare, visa, schooling, and so on.
Yeah. For now, thank you so much for watching and we hope to see you the next time again. Bye bye.
Bye bye.